Welcome to The Stacks, a podcast about books and the people who read them. I'm your host, Tracy Thomas, and today we are joined by debut author Melissa Mogollon, whose new book is Oye. Oye is a coming-of-age story with an inventive format. It's all told in a series of one-sided phone calls from our 18-year-old protagonist, Luciana, to her older sister, Mari. It's a dynamic family drama in the midst of an approaching hurricane, and it is as moving as it is hilarious. Melissa and I talked today about how she came up with this format, writing dialogue, and of course, the many, many books she has loved in her life. Remember, the Stacks Book Club pick for June is It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. We will be discussing the book on Wednesday, June 26th with Melissa Mogollon. Quick reminder, everything we talk about on each episode of The Stacks can be found in the link in the show notes. If you love The Stacks and you want inside access to it, head to patreon.com/The Stacks and join the Stacks Pack. For just $5 a month, you get to be part of the best bookish community around on our Discord channel. Join us for our monthly virtual book club meetups, get bonus episodes each month, and you also get to know that by joining the Stacks Pack, you are making it possible for me to make this show every single week. Another fun perk of the Stacks Pack is that you get a shout out on the show. So here you go. A huge thank you to Ashwini Nagaraja, Alex CCT, Carolyn Gould, Beverly Onyakiluja, and Rebecca Liebing. Thank you all so much, and thank you to the entire Stacks Pack. And if you are interested in supporting the work of the show, but maybe you don't want to join an entire community, but you still want to get my hot takes on books, pop culture, food, all of that good stuff, head to tracythomas.substack.com and subscribe to my newsletter. Okay, now it's time for my conversation with Melissa Mogollon. All right, everybody, I'm so excited. I am here today with Melissa Mogollon, who is the author of Oye. She is a debut author. She also works in a school, which we're going to talk about because I have questions. The book is really fun. And in reading the book and seeing how fun it was, I was like, yes, this person must come on the podcast because they must be fun because the book is fun. So with all that said, Melissa, welcome to the Stacks.
Hello. I can't wait to be here. I'm honored to be introduced as fun.
I think you're fun, but you know what? That's a lot of pressure. So don't let the people down.
Yes. No, I know. So I'm here. I'm ready to deliver, hopefully.
Okay, and we'll give you a rating at the end on the scale of 1 to 10 how fun you ended up being. How much of this book is a lie?
Yes.
Okay, before we even dive into the book, tell the folks a little bit about yourself. I gave a sort of half-assed professional resume, but I'd love to know a little bit about like where you're from, what you're into, where you live now, all of that.
So my name is Melissa, like you said. I go by Mel. I'm from Colombia. I was born in Cartagena, Colombia, and I moved to South Florida when I was 6 years old. So I grew up there. I feel very Floridian, for better or for worse. Then I now live in Rhode Island, and I'm a teacher. I work full time at a boarding school. I'm in administration this year, so it's a whole other kind of view of the school. Yeah. But I go back to teaching creative writing next year, and I'm very excited about it.
Okay.
I love kids. I love youth. I love education. I love to have fun. And being from South Florida, Miami area, I love loud, fun people. And I tried to put that in the book. I used to live in LA. I moved here from LA. So,
oh, really? I live in LA.
I know. I was excited.
And I've been to Columbia.
Oh, okay.
And I've been to South Florida. Oh. And my brother went to Brown. So I'm familiar with Rhode Island as well.
Wow. Brown is like the only cool Ivy.
That's what they say. But I always talk shit to him that I'm like, oh, well, sorry you didn't get into Harvard. I'm like, Brown might be good. People might like it there, but it's not Princeton or whatever.
Is he artsy?
Must be tough. No.
Oh, okay.
Not at all.
Okay.
He's just a smart person. He's great. He's like my favorite person on the face of the earth, but also he didn't get into Harvard. I actually think he did get into Princeton and chose not to go. So I think that I can only say Harvard and Yale. I don't think I can dig on Princeton.
Power move.
All that being said, I loved Colombia.
Where'd you go?
I went to Cartagena and Medellin.
Okay.
And I loved it. It was just vacation, so who knows? But I had a lovely time. I ate delicious food.
Yes.
It was just beautiful, and it was a great vacation. I don't know. It's obviously different than being from a place.
Right. No. I mean, I think people love it. I love it. I love visiting. So,
Do you get to go back often?
Not with my full-time schedule right now, at school, but I used to go back often, like every year.
And do you have lots of family still there?
I do. But and then I also have lots of family in Florida, so.
Got it. Okay. Let's talk about the book.
Yeah.
So the book is the story of Luciana and her grandmother, sort of. They're like co-protagonists, but the story is really told from Luciana's perspective all through phone calls. It's all dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
About halfway through the book, I was like, wait, holy shit, this book is all dialogue. And every writer I ever talked to is like, I hate writing dialogue. And you were like, nope, here you go. Here's 324 pages of dialogue.
That they are wrong. Dialogue is the most fun. Obviously, I took the obsession too far, clearly.
You went with it.
Yeah, I really leaned in. No, dialogue to me is like, I like the constraints of dialogues. I think it does push me to be the best writer it can be. And also realistically voicing humans is just so much fun. And I don't think a lot of people do it right. So it was also a flex for me because I was like, I do dialogue well. So watch me do it for 336 pages.
Wait, why do you think it makes you a better writer, being able to write dialogue?
Not dialogue, but like the limits of anything, like even the constraints of genre or a form or anything, having sometimes like those limitations. For example, the limits of this format did push me to have to edit more and think more intentionally and thoughtfully with my words, and had this like economy of words, and it just made me polish it up faster than just there were more rules, so I had to think more.
Was the book always straight dialogue, or like it's really, I mean, it's not dialogue, it's monologue is what it is.
Yeah.
But was it always like a monologue, or was there a version of this book where it was like, and then she went outside and closed the car door and called her sister?
Oh my God, it gives me hives to think about that. Yes, it was always, this was the original format, but then I tried the first 100 pages in many different ways. I had it in third person, first person. I had Mari talking. I had the grandma talking. I had a whole bunch of things, but no one was doing it like Luciana. I just had the most fun when she was just ripping off. So I went back to the original format, and that's what we landed on.
And I read in the acknowledgments that you have brothers, but you don't have a sister. No. But this book is sister to sister, and it's all about sisters. Everyone in the book is a sister. I guess the dad probably is somebody's brother, maybe, but like we don't. Yeah. And I guess the mom has brothers.
Yeah. I have two brothers. They are my life and my everything. I'm obsessed with them, but I always wanted a sister. I'm the oldest, so I also wanted an older sister to kind of help guide me through everything. So I started writing this book because I wanted a sister, and I was like, what does it feel like to have someone to call? So I got to like feel that through being Luciana, but I realized what I ended up creating was like my demon little sister of my dreams, which was Luciana and not Mari. I'm so much more like Mari looking back.
Oh, you are?
Yes, I think so. So. I'm kind of, they're both like my split personalities, I think. But yeah.
Okay, I love that. Because Mari is like sort of like the goody, like, but she's also a little bit of a little hoe.
Which
at least according to Luciana. At least according to Luciana, who knows? But she's like in college. She's like, doing her homework, getting good grades, like doing diabetes fundraising. I don't know. She's active. And then Luciana is still in high school. She's 18.
Yeah.
The book starts with her and her mom, and they're fleeing a hurricane that's supposed to hit South Florida. South Florida. West Palm is South Florida. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know my Florida geography that well, but I did recognize a few places.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's like fucking up in school.
Yeah.
She got no friends. She's got one friend. She's obsessed with her grandma. They're best friends. But she's sort of like the family fuck up. She's a little chubby. Her mom's on her about that. Though that was a little confusing because I was like, maybe she's actually not chubby. Maybe the mom's just a psycho. Like, yeah, you could read it a few ways.
Exactly. You nailed it. Reality doesn't matter to these people.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're talking to an 18-year-old girl. I'm like, who knows what's going on here? Yeah. She's also she is out to some of her friends and her sister that she is a lesbian, but not to everybody in the family. So that's like also part of the story. I guess that's not a question. That was just all me telling you about the book that you wrote. I don't know if you know that's what the book's about, but that's what it's about.
Thank you.
The book she's 18. Did you feel like you had to make a decision about making this an adult book or a YA book? Did that ever come up in the conversation with your publisher or with your team?
Yeah. It was never a decision of what it was. It was always clear for me that I wanted it to be a coming of age, just adult regular fiction. But we were worried about potentially the marketing of it. We really wanted to be careful about how it was advertised and how it was marketed, because we do have this, technically she's an adult, I guess, but a teenage, for all intents, narrator. But then I was really nervous of all the cursing too, and the content. They were like, well, because the content we cover is pretty adult and mature, just because it's being delivered by a kid, I think we're going to be fine. So I think it was mostly my agent and I were a little bit more worried, and everyone else at the publishing house was like, no, this is not even going to be a thing. So don't worry.
That's so interesting. Yeah, I feel like, I mean, you know, we talk about this a lot. All of that is just like marketing and like, I think Layla Motley calls it genre redlining. It's sort of just like bullshit. But I do think like with this book, especially how it starts off really fun and light, and then it gets into some like deeper, heavier things. But for the first like 100 pages, it easily could be like, you could easily give this to a teenager and they would love it. I mean, I think you could give it to an 18-year-old or anyone. I think like a young adult could read it and love it. Like I was reading about dark shit at like 13. So I'm sort of like, okay.
Did you ever read the Ellen Hopkins books, like Crank, Split? No. Oh my God. Okay, yeah.
No.
So I thought about.
I didn't read kid stuff. I read only adult stuff as a kid because I like nonfiction, and I've always liked nonfiction, and they don't really be making nonfiction books.
They don't.
Like they do a little bit now, but like when I was coming up, it was either like, I don't know, Sweet Valley High, or like, here's a book on World War II. Like
the biography of someone.
Yeah. There's no like, here's a young adult version of the Holocaust. Like I didn't have that. I was just deep in like the text.
Yeah.
But it felt weird for me kind of being with like an 18-year-old. I haven't really hung out with any 18-year-olds recently. I have small kids. Yeah. But I was like, is this what they're like?
No. Luciana's special. No? Luciana's special. No, Luciana's definitely. So I have found it interesting. The book's only been out for, is today Wednesday? Today's Wednesday. So the book's been out for a week and a day today. And I have, in my very limited experience with the life of the book, I have found already like a range of reactions when I meet people and we talk about it. And I noticed that like we're in New England. So a lot of my coworkers, you know, they're from here. And so they're pretty much, they're all white, and not all of them, but most of them are. And they're like, yeah, she is, wow. Like she's talking about Luciana. They're like, she's just a lot. Like they just like make gestures of like, she's a lot. There's a lot going on. And I'm like, yeah. Like, welcome to Miami. Like this is, so, and then I did like a talk last night with a bunch of like Latinas, Latinx group of young girls. And they're like, this is just like my family. Like they just totally embraced it.
Totally got it.
Yeah. And I always knew that was going to happen, but to really seeing it in person, I was like, oh, wow. Some people think this is like magical realism, and other people think this is just a standard Tuesday in my household.
Well, some people think it's magical realism just because like you're from Colombia.
I know.
Like that's like literally, it's like, do they call her spicy?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Right. Like it's like some of these things are just like, we call that racism or racial prejudice. I don't know if I'm going to be generous. I'm like magical realism.
Yeah. I did have someone ask like, was it difficult to have to go back? I'm 30. So to go back in time and voice a kid. And I was like, oh my God, I did not realize until you told me that it should have been difficult, but it was not at all. It was the easiest thing. It was so much fun. I think that's why I had so much fun writing it, because I got to behave badly to this other tiny person that, you know, was saying and doing stuff I didn't. But it was a blast. And I think everyone should go voice a teenager for a bit. But I
feel like most people wouldn't be able to.
I don't know.
Like you spend time with teenagers, so you probably have like a sense of like what teenagers are like. Yeah. And I think a lot of people who don't have teenagers or haven't had teenagers recently and are older, like haven't been a teenager in a long time, would struggle to like authentically bring a teenager to life. I feel like that's what's cool about what you did is I'm like, yeah, no, I fuck with Luciana, but like also she seems like,
but also go away.
She's I really don't want to spend too much time with her, but I would definitely like hang out with her once or twice.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm pretty sassy. I'm Colombian and I'm from Miami. Like that's impossible to erase out of me. So wherever I am, I don't mean to be sassy, but I'm just myself, and it codes sassy often, as we know, otherwise known as racism sometimes.
Yeah.
But so I do think that those characteristics get coded as kids. Like kids are sassy, kids have attitudes.
Sure.
So my regular attitude when I talk was quite easy to tap into, creating a kid character. That so some people might think that was difficult. In reality, like I'm just from Florida. Yeah.
I'm just from Florida. It's fine.
I'm just from Florida.
I too am sassy, and I too have a big personality. So I feel like I also was like, hello, protagonist that is like me. Hello, person I can relate to.
Yes.
Also, something that Luciana and I share is a love for Grey's Anatomy. Do you also love Grey's Anatomy?
Yes. And there was so much more Grey's Anatomy references in there. And I was like, I have to relax. Like one is enough. But yeah, no, I love Grey's Anatomy so much.
I love it so much. I won't spoil anything for people at home who haven't read this yet, but there's a scene where someone has like a medical situation and Luciana's like, I only know what this is because I saw it in Grey's Anatomy. And I was literally like, I also know what this procedure is because of Grey's Anatomy. Well, at first when the procedure came up, before they said Grey's Anatomy, I was like, I know this from Grey's Anatomy. And then I was like, thank you for also knowing this from Grey's Anatomy.
I feel like I know the exact episode too. I mean, I know it came up multiple times, but there's one specific episode where like I can even see the whiteboard. They're all like trying to talk about it and move the procedure. Yep.
And I also like love that a teenager loves the show because I feel like that was a thing that happened during the pandemic.
Yes.
It's like people went back to watch it. And I was like, oh, you guys are just watching this for the first time? Like I've seen that episode 75 times. Like weird that you don't know every word yet.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite Grey's Anatomy person?
Honestly, let's go to the opposite. I did find Meredith Grey insufferable. And not always, but she was just very self-centered. Like her view was like this quite often.
That's true.
I mean, Christina Yang is just like a classic.
Iconic.
Obviously. Who else? I mean, there were so many, but I think Christina, I was like obsessed with Christina. I'm not going to lie. Obsessed.
Same.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, you'll appreciate this. So I used to teach fitness here in Los Angeles. And one of my regular writers was Justin Chambers, AKA Alex Karev. And he was such a nice guy. He was my pal. I called him my boyfriend, not to his face, but behind his back every day. Be like, oop, my boyfriend's in class. But one day he came to class with Sandra Oh.
No.
And I set her up on her bicycle, her little spin bike. And I was like, I'm Tracy. Nice to meet you. What's your name? And she was like, I'm Sandy. And I was like, oh, I actually am passed away. This is the greatest day of my life.
I feel like
she was fine. She sat in the back. She kept being like, I'm going to be terrible at this. Like, you know, Justin made me do this. I'm going to be terrible, whatever. But I literally was like, this is amazing. But also who used to ride totally separately was Ava. Remember his like girlfriend, Ava, who was from the boat accident, who was like Jane Doe for a long time. And she had like the fucked up face. And then they like did.
Of her.
Yes. That actress, she used to also come all the time. And I was like, do you guys know that you're both here at the same time? Like, do you want to rekindle?
Yeah. That is amazing. I also just love that Justin and Sandra were
like friends
still together. Yeah.
This was like after she was off the show. This was when he was still on. Anyways, sorry everyone, but you needed to know.
Yeah, I worked at Disney Studios in Burbank for some time when I lived in LA. And so since Disney owns ABC, they showed me her Meredith Grey's lab coat one time that they have there for months, and I freaked out. I also went to an event and she was seated at the table next to me with Shonda, and I was like, my boss was like, Mel, we need to hear it from your mouth that you're not going to cry when you see her. If not, we can't send you to the event. And I was like, okay, I can do this.
Wait, what did you do for Disney?
I worked in corporate communications.
Got it.
So drama and writing.
Wow. And did you always know you wanted to be a writer?
No, I loved it. I didn't think it was a career or a possibility. And then I had a professor in college sit me down and say, if this is something you want to do, there are things called MFA programs that can really help you. Some are fully funded, some are partially funded. You don't need to take the GRE, just apply, you idiot. And so I did. And and I got in. So I went straight there, and going to Iowa really changed my life. I think it was a defining moment where I was like, I think I can do this, and I think I want to do this. So
And Iowa's a fancy one.
Iowa's a fancy one. Very lucky. Yeah.
And you had who did you have fancy people in your class with you? Like, are there people that I would know whose books have come out yet?
Well, my really good friend Kylie Reed
she was in your same class?
She was a year below me. So I was there a year before her, and then we overlapped her first year, my second year. Yeah.
I did a live event with Kylie this year. She's great.
I know. Yes.
She's the best.
She's the best. We really, I mean, as you know, Iowa can be I had a wonderful experience, but definitely people take themselves very seriously there. So Kylie and I were like, making eyes across.
We're two idiots. Hello.
Literally. We're like, anyways, see you at Forever 21 at the mall. But then, so Donnie Walton too, who wrote The Final Revival, my really good friend as well. That book blew my mind when I read it as a student. And then Monica West, author of Revival Season.
Oh yeah.
Jamel Brinkley. And then Jamil Jan Koshai. He wrote 99 Nights in Loga.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, like just the.
And he also wrote the Haunting collection.
Yes. He was my literary idol. He still is, but he's my literary idol. He was so cool in class. And a bunch of other people too. Those are my friends.
So fancy. Those are my friends.
Sarah Matthews too. Sarah Matthews, iconic, very talented too.
Sarah Matthews. That's Sarah Matthews?
Yes.
Okay, I've read that book too. Wow, so many fancy people there. Was Kaveh teaching there when you were there?
No, I wish. Oh my gosh.
I wish. I would get an MFA just to go spend every day with him as my teacher and be like, I need office hours. Like, what do you, like, not in a sexy way, but just like, tell me about your dreams last night.
Tell me everything.
What shoes are you wearing? I love your Vans. They're very cool. I love him. Okay, wait, I'm not done asking you about the book. You have these chapter titles that are in English and Spanish. And I'm curious why you did that, and also how you came up with the chapter titles. Because they're not like, usually like chapter titles like verbatim in the chapters, but I don't feel like these ones are.
So the chapter titles are typical sayings or commands that you hear from a Latina, like your aunt, your mom, your cousin. So they're kind of like traditional sayings in Latin American culture. They are not connected to the book at all. They were just fun for me to come up with. And they are sayings that Luciana could have heard at a different time from her mother or grandmother or aunts. And then I don't know if you have the arc or...
I don't. I have the finished.
So the chapter number, in the number, there's a little circle around it. That's
and it's the English translation.
It's the English translation. First, they wanted to put it under. They wanted to put the English translation almost like in a shadow of the Spanish one, which
right.
I thought I didn't like. And I wanted to give the Spanish title its moment and just let it be.
Yeah.
So I was like, what if we put it in a circle around the number? Never thinking they would let me do it. I like drew it up on paint on the phone on my computer. And then they were like, that actually looks kind of good. Maybe we'll go with that. I was like, great.
Oh my God. Yeah. I love it. I read about half of the book and I listened to about half of the book, but not like the first half and the second half, just I kind of switched off.
Cool.
And I love the audiobook narrator, but on the audiobook, they say the English title first and then they say the Spanish chapter.
Look at you dropping tea. I had no idea.
Yeah. I wonder if it's just because it's first on the page, like it's higher up because it's with the number. But I thought that was really interesting because in the book, it felt like the Spanish chapter title was the thing. Yeah. But then on this, it was like, oh, it's in English. And like, here's a translation. Yeah. I don't speak Spanish, so I can't do it. But like, it was like, that English. And then it was like, that's Spanish.
Yeah. I mean, with the audiobook, they were lovely. They were amazing. The producer, director, and narrator of the audiobook were just so incredible. And they were kind in asking me my dreams, hopes, and desires for the book. And I was like, this is your guys' book now. Like I am uninvolved. Like to me, I'm excited to meet these characters. This is gonna be a whole separate iteration of this world. So like go wild. So whatever they did works for them. But I'm not precious about, I know some writers are very precious about certain language, but I'm like, if people had fun, that's all I cared about.
I think that the audiobook narrator did a really good job. It's sort of a hard lift because
So
all of
hard.
it is in
So
the
hard.
voice of the character, but then there's all these conversations that happen, which on the page are italicized. So like that, like the dialogue within the dialogue appears italicized on the page, but then she sort of had to like give these other people voices. And I was like, damn, this is hard. And I thought she did a really lovely job. Okay, before we move on to your taste in books and stuff, I do want to ask you a little bit about being a teacher at a boarding school.
Yes.
So the first question is, do you live on campus?
I do live on campus. I'm currently tuning in live from the top of one of our upperclassmen girl dorms.
Do you live in a dorm?
I live on the top level of our dorm, our faculty apartments. So I do live up there. Yes. And I have the lacrosse field out my window here to the left.
And how long have you been at this school?
This will be my 3rd year.
And did you always want to work at a boarding school, or is this just what worked out for you, or what's the vibe?
No, I didn't even know boarding schools really existed until I left Disney, throwing it back to Disney, because I really wanted to finish this novel and I did not have any time to write that year. And so I packed up my minivan and drove back to Florida and was like, I just need a minute to think of what my next move is. My priority.
Wait, you drive a minivan?
I used to have a minivan. I was obsessed with it.
Okay.
Her name was McBertha, Big Booty Bertha. But it was only because that was like my family's car that they very kindly gave to me. And then my dad was like, you can't keep driving the minivan to Disney. Like, we need to do whatever it takes to get you a new car because it's a wrap. And so he was the one that then I got my grandfather's like very old car instead. But long story. So boarding school. So then my college roommate and bestie, I was talking to her and I said, I really want somewhere where I can live and where I can eat and have very small financial commitments and burdens, but I don't want it to be at home. And I know that's the only place that will do that. And she was like, have you heard of boarding schools? You know, if you teach there, you get to live there, you can eat there, and it just might be what you need. They may want like an artist in residence or something. So I reached out to the boarding school 2 weeks before the school year started. And I was like, this is what I can offer you. I will do anything, literally anything, if you give me housing and let me live here to write. By the water. It's by the water.
I'm not desperate. I swear. I'm not desperate. I'm not. I'll do anything you want, but like I'm. You also do want me. Like I'm not like bottom of the dregs or anything.
No, I totally was like I'm very desperate. Capital D, whatever you want. And then they were like, Iowa, okay. I was like, let's go. Yes. So yeah, I was able to live here part time my first year, and I finished Oye, and I've lived on campus every time I've lived here because this is my second tour back. I left after first 2 years and I'm back and I'm never leaving again. But it's not for everybody. It's definitely for me. Like, I love coming home and seeing a kid really excited and asking about their day, or, you know, running into a kid who's crying and trying to make their day better. So I'm a people person and I love kids. So it works for me. I live here with my partner too, who doesn't work at the school.
I was going to ask you. I knew that you're getting married.
We're getting married.
Soon.
Yes. In November.
And the next question was, does your partner work at the school, and how does she feel about living with 500 of her favorite 16 to 19-year-olds or whatever?
She is really firm on her boundaries. So it works. Okay. Like we walk in and she's like, I can't today. And she'll run up and the kids will be like, Vanessa, no. And she's like, I just can't today. So she's really good. She is a lawyer, so she has a lot of similar hours to me. She works pretty hard. But she's the total softie. So like, she'll go to their games. They'll always be like, can you come to our game? And she'll go watch them.
Does she work from home, or does she go? Does she work? Okay.
She works from home, and she'll go into the office in Boston maybe like once every few weeks.
Wow, incredible. Mm-hmm. I could never. What a lovely person she must be. I would be like, nope, I see a lacrosse field. I have got to get out of here. If I wasn't a teacher there.
Right. No, she loves it. We live by the water. I mean, she's so lucky. Every day I'm like, you know, you're living your best life. She'll like go play pickleball for 4 hours in the middle of the day, then go to the beach, then come home, and she's good.
Okay, so she's fine. Mm-hmm. I don't have to worry about her.
Mm-hmm.
You used to teach English.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're an administrator.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going back to teaching creative writing next year.
Yes.
What grade did you teach? Mm-hmm. And what did you assign? And what books were your students actually into? And which books did your students hate? Okay,
great question. So when I was teaching English to sophomores, what was the first part of the question? I'm going to answer the part I remember.
What did you assign?
Like, right. Okay.
Like what kind of stuff? Yeah.
So we started off with Ocean Vuong's poetry collection, Night Sky with Exit Wounds, which I thought was a great entry point for high schoolers to see contemporary poetry. And And they loved it. They were like, Ocean, my boy, by the end of it. They're like, damn, Ocean's the only guy that can make childbirth sound depressing. Like they were just saying the funniest things. Then we did My Brother Was an Aztec by Natalie Diaz. And they also loved that. Then we did Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reed, and she Zoomed us. So they were really excited.
Cool.
My favorite part is like when high schoolers, they're not, when they talk about books, they're like, this should have been the ending instead. So they were giving Kylie like a bunch of tips.
Feedback.
Yeah.
That's honestly what I try to tap into when I do book clubs. I'm like, this was bad. I hate it. Fix it.
Let's do this instead. No, they were shameless and I loved it. Then I did assign Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardine Evaristo. I don't know if you've read it, but I've not
read it, but I know it.
It kind of plays around with form. So I was really interested in it, but it was so long and it was the end of the year. And I was like, they're going to cry if I sign this 400-page book right now. And then we did a lot of essays and excerpts and short stories throughout. But
do you have like books that you have to teach? Like, do you have to teach any of the quote unquote classics?
So it's an independent school. Like all boarding schools are independent. So you have kind of free range to teach whatever you want, which is why I really loved it and love this school. There are now some standards in the department of things they would like us to do, but I haven't really run into any sort of pushback. And so I just get to teach books I'm excited about.
And you're doing creative writing next year, first time with this class. They let you do this, I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to teach?
So it's going to be a heavy writing class. So most of the material will be their own work. But when we hit each genre, we're going to do fiction, nonfiction, and then poetry. I'm going to give them excerpts of things to look at. I really love How to Write an Autobiographical Novel by Alexander Chee. I love a lot of the essays in there. So I'm definitely going to assign some of that. A lot of Ross Gay. I love assigning Ross Gay to the kids because it's a lot about joy. And I like showing them that, writing doesn't always have to be depressing. And
yes, it does, kids. It does. Fuck us up. Fuck us up.
Honestly. But no, classics. Sometimes they're like, Miss Mogo, can we please do a classic? And I'm like, you're going to get that from every other class. Don't worry. You guys are going to be good.
Okay. This is sort of a question for later, but since we're here, I'll skip it later. If you had to assign one quote unquote classic to your English students, what would you pick?
Catch-22, I think.
Ooh. Yeah. Okay. Why?
Because I love the voice. I love Yossarian's voice, the main character. I love the way that Joseph Heller. I feel like I'm blanking on the author's name, but I'm pretty sure that's his name.
I think that's right.
The way he voiced. I loved the idea of a little man being like taking war personally, or thinking like, why are they trying to kill me? That's his thing. Like he's like, why are they shooting at me? Like I didn't do anything. So I thought that I like the humor in it. It's very subtle humor. So I would love to teach that. Mm-hmm.
I've never read it. You're making me want to read it.
It's like
I have to ask you this. I wasn't gonna, because I think it's an insult, but I don't think it's an insult. So I want you to tell me if it's an insult.
Okay, tell me.
Is calling something voicey an insult? Because I called your book Voicy, but then I was like, is that mean?
No.
It is Voicy, but I wasn't sure because then you just said that you like the voice in Catch-22, and I'm like, well, that sounds like it's kind of voicey.
No, who told you it's rude?
No one did. Sometimes I say things and then I'm like, oh, is that a thing you're not supposed to say?
No,
I don't know why.
It's also very, very hard to offend me. Like a lot of the times, I'm so neurodivergent that I don't even realize when people are being mean to me. And it's my partner who's constantly like, Mel, that person has literally insulted you every time they've spoken to you. Like you need to quit it. So it's probably also from working with teenagers. Like my threshold for insults is so high. I don't even bat an eyelash. So no, I think Voicy is great. I mean, I do think there is a stigma that calling things, like I don't believe in it, but I do think that like any sort of condescending, belittling term for women or like Voicy, spunky, whatever. Like, but
is that see, that's what I was trying to get at. Is that like, is it a pejorative?
Maybe. I mean, I didn't personally take it that way, but I could see other people maybe thinking that.
Okay. This is why I'm asking you. Cause I'm like, I don't know a lot of like the literary like rules because I'm an outsider. Like I've come into this space. I like made a space for myself, but like there are things that people are like, oh, nah. And I wasn't sure if Voicy was one, but I mean it as a compliment.
It's literally,
I think it's really hard to get into someone else's voice. Mm-hmm. And this book is super voicey because you've taken us fully into this child or like young woman's voice.
Yeah.
But But I mean, that's also just the kind of fiction that I like. I like when the main character is like with me and I'm like, oh, they have a very distinct, specific voice in which they speak to me. Anyways, okay, we are going to pivot, but first we're going to take a break. Valentine's Day is upon us, and I've got love on the brain. Love for books, duh, of course. Hello. Did you forget what podcast you're listening to? I love bringing you all great reads, exclusive author interviews, and behind the scenes book gossip. But I can only do that with your support over on Patreon and Substack. Our Stacks Patreon community, also known as the Stacks Pack, is where you can go for book club meetups, a private, very active Discord, and a year-long mega reading challenge to help you achieve all your reading goals. Plus, you also get that monthly bonus episode. Now, over on the Substack, you can subscribe to my newsletter, Unstacked, where I keep the book conversations going. I also give you a healthy dose of sports and pop culture, definitely some hot takes happening over there. And again, that bonus episode. If you don't have a few dollars to spare, don't worry. There are free options on the Substack and the Patreon to get you a little extra Stacks magic. Making this podcast is a total team effort, and by supporting my Patreon and my Substack, you allow me to support my amazing team that makes the show possible every single week. So if you or your friends are looking to meet other book lovers and support this indie podcast, come hang out with me on Patreon, Substack, or both. I would love to have you. And since we're talking about love, you can gift subscriptions to the Patreon and the Substack for that special reader in your life. For the Stacks Pack, head to patreon.com/thestacks. And for the newsletter, head to tracythomas.substack.com. And also, there are links to both in the show notes. Okay, see you in the Stacks. All right, we're back from our very long and intense break. So we do this thing every month where someone writes in and they ask for a book recommendation from us. And it's called Ask the Stacks. And they email askthestacks@thestackspodcast.com and they send us whatever. But this month, I have made a slight change because I just completed my nonfiction summer reading guide and it's my obsession. And so what I'm going to do, I put together 35 books. Okay. People can get it on Patreon or Substack. But you didn't put together any books. So I'm going to ask you for your most favorite, 2 or 3 of your most favorite nonfiction books that you feel like are just totally unputdownable, amazing books. That was like the guide. That was like what was my guiding principle for my guide. It's 35 books that I think are just like fucking amazing. None of them have ever been featured on this podcast because I feel like sometimes I end up repeating the same books over and over. So I was like, the challenge is no books that we've ever done for book club or interview. So yes, what are your like most unputdownable nonfiction books?
I love How to Do Nothing by Jenny Odell. I it, but it might have been the time of my life and I read it where I really needed to do nothing. So it was lovely and it hit. And I think it has a lot of cool like neurological research in it. I really love, like I mentioned, How to Do Nothing by Alexander. Not How to Do Nothing. No. How to Write a Biographical Novel by Alexander Chi. Adored. And the Book of More Delights by Ross Gay. I would say those 3 I really, really enjoy. In general, I love I do love nature. I can't remember the name of it, but there's Braiding Sweetgrass too. I did really love. Yeah. But anything that tells me about how trees communicate or how animals in general communicate is really fascinating to me. I'm a big animal person, which is jarring for some people for sure. And I understand if you're not. But
do you have many animals? Can you have animals at a boarding school?
I have a dog. Her name is Dora. She's
right. I knew that.
She
gets a lot in the acknowledgments, just in case she can read. You're like, if you ever are able to read this, here is a huge paragraph.
Yes. And the best part is that she does not give a fuck about me or anything. Dora's like, oh, she's doing it again. She hates when
she's
speak.
Back.
She's literally back. Yeah. But no, I'm a big reason why I love Rhode Island is the nature and the trees. So I'm constantly like telling my significant other way too many fun facts about like possums or birds or coyotes or anything around me.
Did you read How Far the Light Reaches by Sabrina Imbler?
No, I'm going to write it down right now.
Oh my God. It's about sea creatures. And the book it's actually, spoiler, this is in my nonfiction summary guide. I call it a quote unquote literal beach read because I'm
Ah,
clever.
I love it. My mom's a marine biologist and my dad is a
Oh,
biologist. So we grew up very nautical. I feel like by the age of like 5 years old, I had been around way too many sea animals. It
oh,
was, yeah,
you'll love this.
I'm
So,
excited.
Sabrina Imler, they take each, it's an essay collection, and they take each essay is about a different sea creature, but it also is sort of a memoir. And they talk about
Mm,
they're non-binary. They talk about that and like they're transitioning. You know what? I actually don't know for sure what they identify as now because they have
mhm.
since like, you know, the as they progress through their gender journey, things have changed, and I'm sure it's changed since the book came out. But they talk about like sea creatures that are also non-binary, or like building queer communities, and they talk about like Sabrina is mixed race, so they talk about that,
Mm,
and they talk about being this outsider in this like
wow.
science journalism community. But they're using like deep sea crabs and like fucking
Wow.
anorexic octopus and shit. It's like incredible. It's incredible. I don't know if the octopus are anorexic, but I know that the octopus has to do with food. So I just added my own crazy to
That's
it.
amazing. No, I
I
mean,
think you'll
thank
love it. You'll love it.
you.
You'll love
Sold
it.
it. Yeah.
Okay,
Fabulous.
for people who are ready for us to get back to our regular scheduled Ask the Stacks, you need to email askthestacks@thestackspodcast.com and send your questions for me and my guests, and then I will stop making everything about me and I will let you guys be in charge. But not this month. Okay, now we get to the questionnaire. 2 books you love, 1 book you hate.
Okay, I love Map of Home by Rhonda Girard. That was a huge inspiration for me writing Oye.
Ooh.
And then I wrote How to Do Nothing by Jenny Odell, I love. And then the final revival of Opal and Annette by Donnie Walton, to me, stands out craft-wise.
What do you hate?
This one was so hard. I
Oh,
was
come
like,
on, Melissa.
no,
If you want to be fun, you better name names.
I honestly, I couldn't fucking think of a book I hated.
Not even something you were assigned in school, not even something like
Oh,
weird and random, not
I
something that
hated
you read.
everything I was assigned in school,
Okay,
but I
well,
don't
start
even
naming.
freaking remember. I didn't really enjoy any Shakespeare I ever read. I don't know if
Oh,
that's
wow. You're not fun. Okay. I love Shakespeare, but you probably
okay.
weren't assigned it good. You probably
I
didn't
probably
read it
wasn't. I
good.
also wasn't paying attention. I was
That's
like, it
true.
was Florida. No one was doing anything.
Yeah. And the teachers, they don't be teaching the fun drama
No,
stuff. They're teaching like
no.
alliteration. And I'm like, Romeo's literally talking shit to your face, and you're over here telling me about a summer's day. I don't fucking care
No.
about any shit. I want to know why Romeo's a loser fuckboy. Say more.
It's really heartbreaking, like how much we miss our kids with the good literature. It's terrible.
Yeah, I just don't understand. Like, is it because like the teachers sometimes are so far removed from the experience of being a teenager and what's exciting to a teenager? And so like what they're interested in is not what the kids are interested in? Or do you think it has more to do with like expectations, or like that you have to talk about alliteration at
Standards.
some
Yeah.
point?
Yeah. I think they're just a lot of curriculums are pretty outdated and like it worked back then. I don't think it's working anymore. Of benchmarks they need to meet in order to advance.
You mean the curriculum worked back then, but doesn't work anymore? Or like the benchmarks worked
Maybe.
back then?
Oh,
Yeah, I
yeah.
don't know.
Both. Both. Yeah.
Both. Okay. What kind of reader would you say that you are?
A Voicy reader. I love definitely voice driven, character driven books. I like the feeling of I want to open a book and feel like it's telling me get in the car. We're like driving high speed on the highway. That's how I want to feel. Every time I read, I skip any exposition, any interiority, any description. I cannot stand it. That I hate. I fucking hate when people are like, and the window had this color and the tree
Yes.
and I cannot stand it. And because I can't do it, but I don't like it. I don't think it's bad writing, but I just have no interest in it. So I was like, this book is
Yeah.
going to be only dialogue. I always read the ending of a book before I get there.
Always.
Pretty much always, yeah. I want to make sure
From
it's
the
like worth
beginning, or just like once you're halfway through, you're like, what's going to happen? And
Oh,
how
I'll
much of
read
the
a
ending?
great question. I'll read a few pages or the first chapter or first few chapters. And then once I kind of get an understanding of how things are in this world, I usually read the ending to see if it's like worth it for me to get to. And two, it becomes a richer experience for me to then knowing where we end up to then kind of like psychoanalyze each interaction and each word and each sentence.
I've heard the same thing. Do you know Jason Reynolds? You know who that is? He's like a young
No.
adult writer. Anyways, but he was telling me he does that too. He likes to read the ends of the books to see how the writers get there. Like he likes to
Yes.
know so he can figure out, like, it's like
Yeah.
a puzzle for him. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
I want to be surprised when I get there. And if you give up too much information on the way, I hate you.
Mm, mm.
Um,
I hate surprises.
oh, you do?
I do.
All surprises.
I mean, unless it's like a birthday surprise. I love being like spoiled and gifted on my birthday, but I don't like being caught off guard for things, which is why
Right.
I need visuals often.
Okay. Okay. What is the last really great book you read?
Head Shop by Rita Bullwinkle. I read it recently. It came out.
Oh, is it really great? I want to read it.
It is so rooted in like female athletes and their psyches and their quirks.
Is it
So
Voicy?
it's weird. It is voicey, but it almost feels like I'm getting the voice from up here instead of right
Okay.
here.
Okay.
So it might be better for some people, but it's not like someone screaming at you. It's not like, oh
Yeah.
yeah.
When you said up here, she did a gesture. She said up here with her hands above her head versus right here, which was like next to her ear. I realized this is a podcast. I understood what you were saying, but then I was like, people at home are going to be like, what does that mean?
Thank you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good catch.
Okay, I really do want to read that. I've heard it's really good. It sounds like you're similar to me as a reader, that you really like action plot. You like for things to happen. You're not super into like just sitting with a moody person for a book.
No. I will get lost so fast. And with people too, like in real life.
Yeah. Like if you're like a slow talker or something, you mean?
Oh my God. I like 99% of my fights with Vanessa is her talking and I'm like hurrying her with my hand, or I'm like, can you get to the point? I already heard this. Heard this. And she's like, you're so rude sometimes.
I do the exact same thing to Mr.
So bad.
Specs.
So bad.
Can you read multiple books at a time?
Yes, I can.
Oh, you can.
Do I finish them? I don't know. But like I'm constantly reading like 5 at a time.
Oh, okay. And what are you reading right now?
Cinnamolove by Andy Jamming Tang.
What's it called?
Cinnamolove. You haven't heard about it?
Uh-uh.
Oh my God. This is the best logline ever. It's like a tale about the gay men in rural China in the 80s and the woman who married them. I think it's so good.
Cinnamolove, like a movie, like cinema?
Yeah. Yeah, look up the cover. It's absolutely
looking
stunning.
it up right now. Oh, yeah. I've seen this. I've seen it.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Then there is a Rio Grande in Heaven by Ruben Reyes Jr., which is a short story collection. Really excited about that. I have an early edition of it. I'm reading Victim, which I know you covered on your podcast, and Andrew, he's the best. I'm looking up on my shelf. Oh, Wait by Gabriella Burnham.
Okay.
I'm just starting that this week. I'm so pumped. I'm doing an event with her next month. So, yeah.
People who are listening to this episode who don't follow me on social media or like care about me at all, you might not know this, but our book club pick for this month is It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. Have you read it yet? We can tell people. Have you finished it? I haven't read it yet.
Yes. And I've done so many interviews. What are you reading right now? And I've had to freaking bite my tongue each time because I was told it was going to be a surprise. So I was not allowed to tell anyone.
Well, it is a surprise, but when this airs, people will know.
Yes. Okay. But it's been what I've been reading, and I bought it on paperback. I bought it on my phone for ebooks. And then I also have it on audiobook because that's how, like, I needed all the 3 formats to push me through to the finish line. Okay. So it's been like taking up most of my reading time. And so it's really what's been on my mind, and I have not been able to talk about it for any interview.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, everybody, we're going to talk about it. We're going to get into it on June 26th back here on the podcast. We will spoil it. So if you're like, I don't want to read that, you don't have to. You can just hear us tell you everything about it. But if you're like, I've been dying to read Colleen Hoover, but I actually also have not been dying to read Colleen Hoover, now you have people to do it with. Okay. Now back to your reading life, your real reading life, not imposed on you by me. How do you pick your next book? Whose recommendations do you trust? Do you ever use like print media or other outlets? Do you use people on the internet? Like, sort of, how do you find what to read?
Definitely through word of mouth of my friends who are writers, but also my friends who are not writers. I think I love kind of getting a lay of the land, see what everyone's reading. I always ask my students what they're reading. And part of my job is I'm on dorm duty, which means once a week at night, I'm posted up in the dorm for anything they need. And then right before I go to bed at 11, I have to go to each of the rooms and I say, good night, good night, good night. A lot of times they have a book in bed. So I'm like, ooh, what are you reading? And so sometimes I'll figure that out. But definitely through social media. I mean, Instagram has been such a cool place for me having the book come out, and I love seeing what people are reading, and it's just opened up my eyes to a lot of other books. So
Who is your most trusted reading recommender?
there's a few, but definitely her name is Letitia and her account is Bookshelf by LA.
Okay.
I just feel so on the same wavelength with her about so many things in life that like anything she recommends, I'm like, if she gets it, I get it, and we're there. If she loves it, I love it. Same thing with JC_Gren.
Yes.
I think similar to him, I love the way he moves through the world, and so I do enjoy anything that he suggests.
We love him. Okay. Also, what are the kids reading these days in bed at night when you say goodnight to them?
They are reading a lot of sci-fi, we'll say, like a lot of fantasy, a lot of sci-fi. It's not something I recognize. But recently the kids were reading Come and Get It by Kylie, which was sweet to see.
Did they like it?
They did. I mean, I don't know if they would tell me they didn't, but they liked it. Yeah.
I loved that book so much. I know some people didn't like it, but I'm like, oh, you're wrong. It's great.
It's Voicy.
It's so voicey, and I love it.
Yeah.
And like people are like, oh, nothing happens in that book. I'm like, what are you reading? What's in your copy? Is it like Percival Everett's Telephone where each copy's different? There's 3 different versions. I'm like, there's so much happening.
I was obsessed with Telephone, by the way.
I haven't read it, but I need to. But I just I loved Come and Get. I mean, I think I even told Kylie this when I saw her. I liked it way more than Such a Fun Age. I thought it was like so much growth from her as like a storyteller. Did you see your life as a dorm liver in her? Like, were you like, oh, this tracks? I know it's high school versus college, but.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and whenever I'm FaceTiming Kylie and I'll be like, one sec, I have to go, like a kid's crying. She's like, you have the best job in the world. I'm like, I know. And she's like, what was it? I was like, nothing. She just heard her friends talking about her at lunch. Like, it's just classic high school shit. And I love creating a container for them to just like let it out. Cause I'm like, I get it. I was there.
Oh my God. I like just hearing you talk. I'm like, you have to be patient with teenagers.
So patient.
Oh my God. You seem lovely. I wish you were my teacher, though. I didn't live in a dorm in high school. I just had to live with my family. So do you listen to audiobooks? Are you an audiobook person?
I do. We do a lot of road trips. So we do road trips that we'll listen to audiobooks. The last one I listened to was Only One Left by Riley Singers or Siger.
Oh yeah. Is that like a thriller-y thing?
It's a thriller, which was so different for me, but I was like, let's try this. One thing about audiobooks that I probably will never be normal to me is like the very animated character like voicing of a lot of the characters. It takes me a few chapters always to get over that, and then I'm in. But that's always a little difficult for me.
Do you listen at one speed or do you speed it up?
No, I'm like 1.75 or
okay,
2.
Same. I feel like that really helps. I feel like that makes everyone sound less animated because they're just like talking so fast. Gotta get through it.
Yes, that happened to me. Or when I was listening to Coho's book on audiobook, Colleen Hoover, I was like, let's go. Enough. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you and your partner have similar reading tastes?
No. Oh my gosh. Well, she likes what I like. Do I like what she likes? I don't know. But she was
I think you do know. I think the answer is you don't like those things.
She was a big, I mean, I've just never read them, but she was they were just not even commercial, because I love commercial books, but it was like a step above that. She really likes Jodi Picoult, which I like respect, but I've never actually read a lot of it. She loves Jodi Picoult. She loves I'm blanking on all their names, but it's just the books that I never see really or talk about. And then when we combined our apartments, I was like, okay, you get this bookshelf and we hide it over here. So when people come over, they don't think that those are my books.
How do you organize your books?
I see yours is very gorgeous and color coordinated, which I'm so jealous. My books they have no organization. It's whatever I've left all over the coffee table, and Vanessa has to then put in the bookshelf because she hates a mess. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have books all over. Behind me is my organized books, but in front of me is just piles and piles of books that have no home. But I'm shocked that you don't do color if you're a visual person, because that's why I do color. I cannot remember a title or a name of an author, but if I see that cover, I'm like, oh, I know exactly where the fuck that is.
Yes, it really is difficult in interviews when they ask me to talk about books. I was like, oh no, it's black in my head. It's dark in here. I don't know anything. But I'm not organized. I'm not an organized person when it comes to my home life. I'm very organized at work, and they call me organized all the time, and it drives Vanessa crazy because she's like, no, she's not.
She's not.
So no, I like when things are just like blended.
I see. I'm not very organized in my home life either, but my books are organized because that is my work life. Like if my books were all over the place, I would I can't find anything, cannot work.
Totally.
Do you have a favorite bookstore?
I do. Books and Books in Miami, Florida, in Coral Gables.
And what is the last book you purchased?
I just bought The Skunks by Fiona Warnick, but she's a fellow Rhode Island debut author, and she's just like the best, and I can't wait to read it.
Last book that made you laugh?
I did. I started it, haven't finished it. Good Material by Dolly Alderton. I enjoyed the first chapter, which is the protagonist's list of the reasons why he's happy he broke up or he got dumped by his girlfriend, which I found very entertaining.
Last book that made you cry?
This one was tough too, and this is a shitty answer, and I'm sorry, but it was OJ. It was my own book when I was writing it and finishing it. Because I'm not really a crier when it comes. Yeah, a lot of the books I read aren't too sad.
Okay. Last book that made you angry?
I Have Some Questions for You by Rebecca Makkai. I think that's the name.
Why did it make you angry? What kind of angry?
I felt there were a lot of missed opportunities with like a lot of the racial undertones of the case of the book that were not, they didn't need to be explored or discussed, but at least acknowledged in the beginning of the book that I was like, this is so obvious.
Right. What about the last book that you felt like you learned a lot?
Oh, I did write, this was good. I wrote Yellowface by R.F. Kuang because she talks so much about like publishing drama and just stereotypes in publishing, which I'm not really in that world either. So it was really interesting. I was like, oh my God, do people do that? Do people think that?
Okay. How about a book that you feel embarrassed that you've never read?
I wrote all the classics for this answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like this is our theme today. All the classics. That's probably going to end up being the episode title. All the classics.
All the classics Mal hasn't read.
I've not read most of the classics. I've read a handful, but mostly no. But I have read every single Shakespeare play. So
okay, yeah. So I got the one
bonus points there.
Yeah.
Yeah. You made an enemy of me today.
I'm so sorry.
What's a book that you wish more people read or like knew about? Sort of like your sneaky fave.
Yes. It's called Fiebre Tropical, which means
I know this.
Yes. Okay. So the author's name is Julian Delgado Lopera, and the voice is a young queer Colombian girl from the Miami area. And it was like the first time I'd ever seen someone like me reflected back. But on top of that, it's a lot of Spanglish, and the form is almost also similar to a monologue. So I was just very inspired, and it felt like I had a friend in the literary world, and it was just lovely. And I wish more people knew about it.
I love that. Okay. Last question for you. If you could require the current president of the United States to read one book, what would it be?
I mean, my like cheeky answer right now would be Map of Home by Rhonda Drar, because it is by a Palestinian writer, and would love to have Mr. Joe Biden read that. But I don't think enough people, I don't know how you felt about How to Do Nothing by Jenny Odell, but I think
I didn't read it. I haven't read it.
Okay. So it's this really lovely explanation of how our different approach we need to take to our brains, and actually doing nothing and being anti this like crazy capitalist production obsessed culture that we have of produce, how that's really affecting our brains, and like the act of, for example, bird watching and actually just sitting, doing nothing creates a possibility for everything. And so your brain starts actually creating new neurons and new pathways and more texture in there. So I would love more people to think about that.
More people, specifically Joe.
More people, specifically Joe, yeah. Though some could, never mind. Yeah.
We're going to leave it on that. Everybody, Oye is out in the world. You can get it wherever you get your books. And you have to come back here on June 26th to hear Mel and I discuss Colleen Hoover it ends with us. I can't believe we're doing this. I'll tell you guys next time how this all came to be when Mel comes back and we talk about the book. But I just want you all to know I'm as shocked as you are that this is happening. And it's my fault. Do not blame Mel. It is my fault. She did not ask for this, but she has been given this. Life sometimes gives you things and you have to make Colleen Hoover lemonade or whatever.
Yep. And you buy the book in 3 different formats because that's just what needs to happen. No, but I'm so excited. I hope people tune in. It's going to be a roller coaster.
I'm going to have a great time. Thank you so much for being here. And everybody else, we will see you in the stacks. All right, y'all, that does it for us today. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you to Melissa for being my guest. I'd also like to say a huge thank you to Andrea Pura for helping to make this conversation possible. Don't forget, the Stacks Book Club pick for June is Colleen Hoover's It Ends With Us. We will be discussing the book on Wednesday, June 26th with Melissa Mogollon. If you love the show and you want inside access to it, head to patreon.com/thestacks to join the Stacks Pack. And you can check out my Substack at tracythomas.substack.com. Make sure you're subscribed to the Stacks wherever you listen to your podcasts. And if you're listening through Apple Podcasts or Spotify, be sure to leave us a rating and a review. For more from the Stacks, follow us on social media at The Stacks Pod on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok, and at The Stacks Pod _ on Twitter. This episode of The Stacks was edited by Christian Duenas with production assistance from Lauren Tyree. Our graphic designer is Robin McCrite, and our theme music is from Tigirigis. The Stacks is created and produced by me, Tracy Thomas.